Okay, so I've actually let me start this VM template process from the beginning. What I've actually done is I've gone so far as to make sure that this thing stopped. My server 2016 is actually up and running somewhere in the background. It's running. Notice that I don't have a console anywhere. If I were to go into Hyper-V right quick, let me just go ahead and do that. Go to Hyper-V here. Boom, there it is. All nice and happy for me. I'm just kind of, what I'm going to do now is build, in the library, build that VM template off of the clone. I still can't seem to get it to, for some reason, it doesn't seem to know what OS the server 2016 is running. Perhaps that's because when I built the clone, I told it what server, what OS it's running. I might have to go back and tinker with that. Anyway, so I'm going to take this clone. Of course, as it is going to warn you about this every time. I'm going to call this SRV16. What duty? Okay, yeah. I still can't seem to pick a hardware profile. This whole screen is essentially disabled for some reason. But as it turns out, the guest OS that I'm using has a hardware profile, so that may not be the end of it. Okay. We're not worried about stand stuff right now. I'm going to choose my machine path, go into the VMM library, go OK. Notice it's building a UNC, a Universal Naming Convention path here. Click Next, and the view script will, let's do this view script thing. I mentioned in the previous video that what this stuff is really doing is PowerShell scripting for you. Basically code generation. Lots of stuff. Guest OS profile, template. Strangely enough, I suppose if I really knew how, I could probably hack, in the good sense of the verb to hack, a hardware profile into here. But for the moment, I'm not going to worry about that. It doesn't want to let me make this choice, so I'm just going to do it. And it's creating the template. I'm guessing that in the process of doing this, that clone will poof, go away. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pause, because I don't know how long this takes. This could take 5 minutes. It could take 30. Hopefully not 30. But this job screen is actually this job screen is very useful. But the thing is, you can actually kind of, I think, close it. If you go to VMs and Services, okay, Jobs. You can watch it here. You don't have to open it as a separate screen if you don't want to. Oh, cool. It's interesting. One of the things you could have done would be to Sysprep the virtual machine. It seems that it's doing it for me now. Cool. So it's Sysprepping. What the Sysprep does essentially is anonymize, shall we say, the VM to take, say, a specific license key off of it, a specific host name off of it, so that you can take that image and deploy it into multiple locations. If you were preparing something like this for, say, a fog image or a ghost image, without a system like this that could Sysprep for you, one of the things you would want to do on that VM before you shut it down for the last time, before you turned it into a template, shall we say. And template is exactly the right word for this, for what you're going to do now. You would want to run Sysprep for yourself. This is probably one of the reasons that SCM the SCVMM needs the assessment and deployment kit, because Sysprep is one of those tools. So it needs to be able to genericize, to anonymize a VM. And let's see, so this is taking, it's going to take a few minutes, so I'll pause this and come back to it. Okay, so just checking in. We're about 75% complete. Obviously, this thing has been going for about 10 minutes. Notice the various things it has been doing. It started with Sysprep. That's where it was when I paused this video. It's been working on setting up the virtual machine status, deploying a file using the LAN. Technically speaking, it's not really going across the LAN. It's essentially acting as though it is moving, it's treating like this like a network transmission, even though it's on the same local machine, because it's fundamentally a network-based application. I'm tying into localhost, port 8100. So it's exporting things, it's removing, so it's going to remove the machine name, it's going to fix the differencing disks. Noticing it's using bits, the background intelligent transfer service over HTTP to move this file, this about 10 gig file. So this is good. This is going to go on taking time. I'm going to pause it here. And if more things, if more tasks pop up, I will I'll change that. Actually, you know what? Let's see if I can make this any smaller, because this is literally the only thing I'm doing right now. I want to see if maybe I can't get as much detail as possible. And you can actually resize this a bit. You might have noticed that this window has gotten bigger. And I've actually squished these start and end times are about, yeah, that's about as small as I can make this. Yeah, can't make it any smaller without squishing everything. Yeah, that's about as good as it's gonna get. Yeah, and if I try to squinch that anymore, no. But yeah, so we will keep waiting on this. So this is not the sort of thing you should expect to just happen in a flash, because it's got a lot of work to do. Yeah, creating the VM template is estimated to take about 30 minutes. And most of this appears to be waiting time. Building a VM from a template is also estimated, according to the book, to take about 30 minutes. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll be right back. And it's back. It finished very. It went from 99 to okay, I'm done now, very, very quickly. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can't invoke the separate jobs screen to show this a little bit better. So I believe, let me see. Oh, actually, I need to scroll this up a bit. Okay, so this template creation started at 8:04 and ended maybe 30, 45 seconds ago at about 4:25. So now, if I were to go to my library, let me see. So there's this. Now I now have a VM template here. It finished all the things that we were talking that I mentioned, up to and including. No, yeah, actually, if I were to go over to my VM services, I would imagine the VM itself no longer exists. Actually, you know what? See, and here it doesn't. My Win Server 2016 is up and running. It's been just kind of bopping along in the background. Probably that might have something to do with my the slight performance issues that I'm seeing. But yeah, that the clone no longer exists. In creating the template, I nuked the clone, and that's okay. So I've got it running. I got my library, and now I can actually create that VM from this template right here. And I'll do that next. So thanks for watching.